Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Kay, and this will be a review of the 1/7 scale Maid Alter, or Summer Artoria Alter, or Summer Salter, whichever name you want to call her. This is a 1/7 scale by Amakuni. Really good looking figure. Not entirely perfect, but I would say close. Amakuni is one of my favorite manufacturers. They've made great figures in the past, and this is no exception. It just looks wonderful. First, let's talk about the base. It's pretty plain. I do like the nice design all around, and of course you have her name, Altria Pendragon. For shame, it should be Artoria. Am I right? But it doesn't look too bad. Nothing to really catch the eye from a distance or anything compared to other figures, but it's better than just a plain clear or black base. So first and foremost, we have to talk about the weapons, because that's one of the main highlights for this character, right? The sniper rifle and the sword. If you collected other Salter figures from different companies, the sword is, or Excalibur is practically the same, but what I really like what Amakuni did is they put a metallic shine onto the handle and towards the center of the blade. I don't know if you could sort of see there's a difference in color, but that looks really good, especially in the right lighting. Now, for the sniper rifle, it's a water gun, but SVD, Dragunov, I actually don't know my weapon terminology. First off, it's actually flipped around. If you see images, the scope is supposed to be facing that way, but it keeps hitting the coat and just falls over a lot. I will talk about this issue. It's a pain in the ass, but like I said, I will talk about it a bit later. Very nicely painted. Like, you see the metallic shine on the barrel. Holy crap, that looks good, right? And of course, a little shading or shine on the sculpt as well. And of course, the sculpting is wonderful. So you have a nice brown matte finish on the rifle stock and bipod. Nice separation of colors, especially with the metallic coloring of the gun. And the cheek rest has this nice gray coloring and some shading on it as well. One complaint about this sculpt I do have is that for the lens, it's not clear or anything, it's just a solid black piece. The dress is painted beautifully, has this nice shine to it, and sculpted pretty nicely as well. Some wrinkles and folds towards the end, and of course the face looks great, especially that nice smirk on her face. The tiara isn't as metallic as I'd like. It doesn't really have a shine to it, but looks good nonetheless, especially the sculpt work. For the coat, it's sculpted really well, especially towards the sleeves, all the wrinkles and folds, and towards the end as well, as if it's being blown by the wind. Now, not a major complaint, but another complaint, sort of like the scope where the lens isn't see-through, the sleeve itself, there's a solid piece in the middle as well. So it does look a bit awkward, but you're not going to see it both sides as well. Again, there's a solid piece instead of being through. But there is also some shading towards the end of the jacket as well. But not much to talk about. Looks really good. Again, Amakuni's sculpting is always well done. And painting is always good as well. So like I mentioned before, her face looks really good. And of course the tiara, I did said that I kind of wish for a more metallic shine to it. I mean, it looks okay, especially with the right lighting. There is some gloss to it. But another complaint is the hair sculpt. Now, it's not bad, but in comparison to a lot of figures, let's say done by Good Smile, Alter, or Stronger, especially Stronger and the MASH figure, they have individual hair lines, or a lot of them, which adds more detail to the figure itself. But towards the side, it looks okay on this figure, but the back, it just looks a bit awkward. It could have been better with more individual lines added onto the sculpting. Like I said, not bad whatsoever, but more detail would have been nice. The biggest issue for this figure, and something you have to be careful of, are the weapons falling out of her hands. More so the sniper rifle, not so much the sword. I read online the sword does fall out for some people, not for me. There's enough pressure where even if I were to tap it or move it, it's not going to fall out, but I do worry about the tip of the blade being chipped. Not something I can really see because I don't want to take it off and on a lot. For the sniper rifle, like I mentioned already, I had to turn it around or switch it around. The scope is supposed to be facing that way, but it comes into contact with the end of the coat, and it will just easily fall out, or it won't even stay firm in place. So if I were to tap it, it will be okay. I mean, I'm not gonna move it around too much, but just be aware that the sniper rifle can fall out very easily, and there has been cases where the barrel and the bipod have broken. So apparently it's quite fragile. So a quick size comparison, here is a side-by-side comparison with a 1/8 scale Sakura Saber or Okita figure. And here's a side-by-side comparison with a 1/7 scale Saber figure by Kotobukiya, and they look good next to each other, although the head sculpting or size is a bit bigger than this figure, so that may be an issue for some people because they like proper scaling, but for me, I don't mind. So my final thoughts on this figure, I highly recommend it if you're a huge FGO fan. Obviously, if you're not, you don't really care. But if you're a huge Saber fan maybe, then I highly recommend this as well. It looks really good. Amakuni, again, I praise their work. They've done great figures in the past. I believe the Needle Chris and a few others. I believe the Medusa Lancer as well. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I looked up the companies, but again, great company, good sculpting, good painting. Few issues, especially with the weapons, the sculpting for the hair, in my opinion, of course. That's just my perspective. But I bought this figure for around $210, $220. I don't know if it rose in price or if it went down. Rarely does a figure go down in price. I've rarely seen that happen. But again, don't get me wrong, especially with Rerun. But that's typically because of aftermarket prices being high and then going back to normal pricing once there's a rerun. But nonetheless, I highly recommend this. Looks really good. Has a nice presence, you know, the weapons, the coat, everything about her. I mean, couldn't recommend this figure enough. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future figure unboxing and reviews. As a reminder, this is my second channel, not my main gaming channel. I used to do figure reviews on that, but I moved everything over to this now. So subscribe if you haven't yet. And there's a lot of figures that's coming in slowly but surely. Pre-orders were delayed because of the situation we're in, of course, which sucks, but look forward to those figure reviews and unboxings. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.